Good evening. On the world news tonight, first the headlines. President Tinubu orders investigation into recurring boat accident in Niger, Adamawa states. Moving on to the next story. Tinubu directs immediate payment of deceased soldiers' insurance. 6 multinational manufacturing giants coming with me to Nigeria in December. Okonjo Iweala. PegSense reacts as Dangote refinery misses production deadline. Wike to workers, you are a shame. No wonder Abuja is like this. And on sport, eyes on Osimhen as Nigeria target trophy in Cote d'Ivoire. I am Morire Rebila Lawal. The news shortly. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has ordered an investigation into recurring boat accidents in the country. Tinubu spokesperson Ajuri Ngelale, in a statement on Tuesday, said the president gave the order to maritime safety authorities following 2 recent boat accidents in Adamawa and Niger states that claimed many lives. At least 24 persons died after a boat capsized in Bajobo, Makwa area of Niger on Sunday. Before that, 8 persons died and 7 others were declared missing in a boat mishap at Unjua Lake in Rugange village, Yola South LGA of Adamawa. While condoling with the families of the deceased, Tinubu wished those who were injured in the accident a speedy recovery. The statement read on part, the president directs various government agencies, including law enforcement, maritime safety and transportation safety authorities to collaborate closely in identifying the root causes of these unfortunate and preventable disasters. Tinubu underscores the commitment to holding government agencies accountable for any regulatory or safety lapses, and further instructs a comprehensive review of safety measures and strict enforcement of existing laws on both activities in the country. The president assures the affected families and communities of the government's continued support and its commitment to the prevention of such tragic incidents from occurring in the future. Moving on to the next story. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed the immediate payment of insurance entitlement owed to families of officers and soldiers who died while fighting to defend the nation. The Chief of Army Staff Corps, Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, made this known at the opening of a combined 2nd and 3rd quarters of Corps conference on Tuesday in Abuja. The conference is being attended by Army field commanders and heads of institutions and establishments. Lagbaja said the welfare of troops and their families was of paramount importance and pledged to consolidate all existing welfare arrangements to enhance the well-being of troops and their families to keep them focused on their task. In addition to providing befitting living quarters for our personnel, we shall ensure the newly introduced affordable home ownership option for all soldiers scheme, designed to provide affordable and high-quality post-service homes for our soldiers' work. We shall also ensure that our injured warriors get the best medical care and continue to support the widows and next of kin of our fallen heroes. Lagbaja appreciated the president for directing that all pending insurance payments owed to the families were paid without delay and for his strategic guardians of the armed forces. On behalf of the officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army, I want to reiterate our unalloyed loyalty and pledge our total commitment to the defense of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he said. The Corps urged Army personnel to continue to work with other security agencies to decisively deal with all security challenges facing the country. Moving on to the next story. The CEO of World Trade Organization (WTO) and former finance minister and coordinating economy, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has revealed that despite all odds, plans have been concluded to arrive Nigeria in December this year with no less than 6 graded multinational manufacturing groups to rev up the economy and job creation. Speaking on the sidelines of the just concluded G20 in New Delhi, India, she said, at least 6 multinational manufacturing giants are among with me by December later this year to see how their firms can have factories here. It's all part of my contribution to the progress of Nigeria. I am not a politician. I only desire the best for my dear country. It informed my visit to President Tinubu The world has accepted him as our president, like it or not. May God heal us. Moving on to the next story. The 650,000 barrels per day Dangote refinery is yet to begin production after the August commencement date earlier announced by the President Dangote Group Aliko Dangote. While delivering a speech at the official commissioning of the refinery by former President Muhammadu Buhari in May, he said, "Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, our first product will be in the market before the end of July or beginning of August this year." However, no drop of refined petroleum product from the refinery has hit the market weeks after the promised production deadline, according to findings. Spokesperson for the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Garbaddin, in June, said that the company would cut down its fuel import program in August when the Dangote refinery began to push out refined petroleum products latest August. A top source among the Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria also confirmed that NNPCL had cut down importation. Corroborating Dean while speaking to journalists after a meeting with oil marketers in Abuja also in June. The chief executive, the Nigerian Midstream and Mainstream Petroleum Regulatory Agency, Farouk Ahmed, also said NNPCL had cut down on importation. Official of the Communications Department of Dangote Refinery could not speak on the matter as of press time. However, a source at the refinery told that the management was unsure of when petrol refining would begin at the Ibeju-Lekki facility. The source, who was not authorized to speak, said, "For now, the management has not come out with any official dates." The President, Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Festus Osifo, advised the federal government to focus on completing the Port Authority refinery rather than focus on the Dangote refinery. The National Controller Operations, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Mike Osati, also said there was no cause for alarm as far as petrol supply was concerned, as the NNPCL was still importing. According to him, management of the Dangote refinery may have delayed production due to some internal challenges. He also advised the federal government to ensure that other local refineries come to on-stream rather than depend on the Dangote refinery. Moving on to the next story. The FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, has fled workers of the Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, and Federal Capital Development Authority, FCDA, of failing to measure up to expectation, describing them as a shame and reason the FCT was the way it met it. Wike, who delivered the book on Monday at Garki at the launch of the renovation of 135 road projects in Abuja, following the failure of the public address system, however, warned those who couldn't walk to leave. The minister also warned contractors who arbitrarily vary contract costs in connivance with officials of the FCDA engineering department that such practices would no longer be condoned. Let me express my displeasure at the FCDA. It is unfortunate, and that is why FCT is where it is. If you cannot arrange an ordinary microphone to work, how would FCT work? You are ashamed. Let me warn all those who are concerned that this should be the last time that I will appear before a public function and I get this embarrassment, as it will not happen again. If you don't want to work, then leave, Wike argued. Wike assured contractors that FCTA would pay all their money to enable them to complete the project within the agreed timeline. To all contractors, as he said, all I want the residents to do is please support the contractors so that they can finish the job on time. And to the traditional rulers who want to solicit your support for the contractors, don't allow your subjects to become the cause why this contract will not move on well. I beg you, let your youths and residents support the contractors so that we can finish this job on time, Wike concluded. From that story from FCT, we go to the next story. Wakil, a superintendent of police, said that two-man gang have been terrorizing Yobe and Bauchi State. The command has arrested a two-man squad that specializes in snatching motorcycles and has been carrying out their nefarious activities for about 4 years within Bauchi and other neighboring states. The command has arrested a two-man squad that specializes in snatching motorcycles and has been carrying out the nefarious activities for almost 4 years within Bauchi and neighboring states. On August 24, 2023, at about 6:30 a.m., when Ali Mohammed Gidado, male of Old Road Airport, Bauchi, reported at B Divisional Police Headquarters Bauchi Metropolis, that on the same date at about 4 a.m., it discovered that Bello Mohammed alias Farouk Manja, male 30 of Bakoro area of Bauchi, and Kabiru Damfuleni, a male of Muda Lawal Bauchi, Lao Atlad, criminally conspired among themselves and trespassed into his house and stole his motorcycle Honda Civic, golden color with registration number MSA/350/PD, valued at 640,000 naira, alongside a skeletal motorcycle green color with a value yet to be ascertained. Al-Khailo Saidu, the father of Abidin, the 18-month-old boy Cuba introduced in Bauchi, said yet to be confirmed if it's true. Moving on to the next story. Operative of the Rapid Response Squad, RRS, have arrested a car wash attendant, Isa Mohammed, after he absconded with a 2012 Toyota Camry handed over to him for cleaning in Isheri, Lagos. In a statement by spokesperson Lagos State Police Command Benjamin Udein, the 22-year-old was arrested on Sunday, September 9, 2023, at Agege, where he parked the car to link up with a buyer. Preliminary investigation revealed that the car was handed over to the suspect 3 hours earlier by the owner in preparation for a family outing later in the afternoon. The suspect, who was employed at the car wash 3 days before the incident, had removed the plate number of the car. Also, he discarded all identities linking the car to its owner immediately after he arrived at Agege. Meanwhile, CSP Olayinka Egbemi-led RRS will be charging the matter to court immediately investigation is concluded. Moving on to the next story. In a heartbreaking incident that unfolded in Magboro, located in the Bafemi Owode local government area of Ogun State, residents were plunged into mourning as a truck accident resulted in the tragic death of a pregnant woman and left a 2-year-old child hospitalized. The unfortunate incident occurred when a truck bearing the registration number TTD 643ZY suddenly veered into Magboro Market after suffering a brake failure, causing the driver to lose control. Correspondent on ground, who arrived at the scene at about 10:40 a.m., witnessed the aftermath of the accident, which included the truck colliding with a car and a motorcycle becoming trapped beneath it. Report indicated that the woman who had come to the market to purchase food items moment before the incident happened unfolded. And an animal's eyewitness recounted the accident, stating that the victim attempted to protect her child by fleeing from the approaching truck but was hindered by a ground. Tragically, she fell and the drastic truck crushed her. Another witness, mentioned by the motorcyclist, whose motorcycle was trapped under the truck, narrowly escaped death by quickly abandoning his vehicle. Upon reaching out to the spokesperson for the Ogun State Command of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Florence Okwe, for additional information, it was stated that the report would be sent as soon as the rescue operation is concluded. As of the time of filing this report, correspondent has not received further update as calls to the spokesperson phone have gone unanswered and the text message sent remains unacknowledged. In case you're just joining, you are watching the world news from Babagide Imo Television. Next is the foreign story. At least 150 people were killed when freak flood hits eastern Libya, officials said Monday after Storm Daniel swept the Mediterranean, lashing Turkey, Bulgaria, and Greece. Images filmed by residents of the Libyan disaster area showed massive mudslides, collapsed building and entire neighborhood submerged under muddy water. Speaking on Libyan network Al-Masaf, Osama Hamed, Prime Minister of the East-based government, reported more than 2,000 dead and thousands missing in the city of Der'a alone, but no medical sources or emergency services have confirmed such figure. While media outlets in eastern Libya have largely picked up on Hamid's remarks, separate sources reported from various areas add up to far lower figures. These handout pictures provided by the officials of Libya's Benghazi-based interim prime minister on September 11, 2023 shows a view of vehicles piled up along the side of a coastal road in the eastern city of Derna, about 290 kilometers east of Benghazi, in the wake of the Mediterranean storm Daniel. Mohamed Masoud, a spokesman for Ahmed Benghazi-based administration, said earlier that at least 150 people were killed as a result of flooding and torrential rains left by Storm Daniel in Derna, Jabal Al-Qadr region and suburbs of Al-Maj. This is beside the massive material damage that struck public and private properties, he told AFP. Hundreds of residents were still believed to be trapped in difficult-to-reach areas as rescuers, backed by the army, were trying to come to their aid. East Libyan authorities had lost contact with 9 soldiers during rescue operation, Masoud said. He said Ahmed and the head of a rescue committee as well as other ministers had traveled to Derna to evacuate the extent of the damage. Experts have described Storm Daniel, which killed at least 27 people when it struck parts of Greece, Turkey and Bulgaria in recent days, as extreme in terms of the amount of water falling in the space of 24 hours. Finally, on sports. Nigeria striker Victor Osimhen finished as the top scorer in the 2023 African Cup of Nations qualifying series. Osimhen scored more goals than the likes of Sadio Mane, Senegal, and Egypt, Mohamed Salah. His hat-trick in the Super Eagles' 6-0 annihilation of Sao Tome and Principe at Gustavo Aquabio Stadium in Uyo on Sunday took his tally to 10 in his African qualifying games. Osimhen's goal at the 2023 African qualifiers doubled the number of goals scored by Mane, Zambia's Patson Dakar, Louis Fafuta of the Central African Republic, and Tunisia's Yassine Mskani. The 24-year-old goal and also ensures Josep Pacero's men finished top of Group A with 15 points. His track record for the last 12 months has been impressive for both the country and his club side Napoli. Osimhen, who was recently nominated for this year's Ballon d'Or, led Napoli to win the Serie A title last season and also won the top scorer award in the Italian top flight league. The former Lille star missed the last African edition in Cameroon, which was won by Senegal due to injury. In his absence, the Eagles crashed out of the competition in the round of 16 after losing 1-0 against Tunisia. Both in the 2019 African qualifying edition, Odion Jude Igalo finished as a top scorer in the qualifying series, but he was only able to lead Super Eagles to win the bronze medal third place. Can Osimhen lead Nigeria to go past the third place, although by winning the 2023 AFCON in Ivory Coast? That's a question for the fans. Report that the last time Nigeria won the AFCON was in 2013 in South Africa after beating Burkina Faso 1-0 in the final. Information also from Alphonse Michael CV, Wakanda FC midfielder, expressed confidence that Osimhen can lead Nigeria to glory in Ivory Coast if he stays fit and injury-free before and during the competition. Well, Osimhen is currently in good form and the AFCON in Ivory Coast will commence at the start of next year, just a few months from now. One thing Nigeria will have to pray for is for him to remain fit and injury-free before and during the competition. Technically, the Super Eagles team has improved a lot from what they used to be. Now we have more teamwork and they understand. With the likes of Kelechi, Taiwo, Chukwueze, Ademola, Moses, Aribo, Iwobi, Ndidi, and Frank to support him, I believe Osimhen would not only lead Nigeria to win the AFCON in Ivory Coast, but he would also finish as top scorer in the competition. CD also called on the Nigeria Football Federation (NFF) to make sure they prevent and put everything in place to support Osimhen and the Super Eagles teammates so as to boost their morale prior to the competition. We also want to see a better version of the Super Eagles in the future, while the NFF should also work on improving the team's morale with the right support both financially and psychologically. We need to brace up since Pesaro said winning the 2023 AFCON is his priority. We pray that he gets all that he wants to achieve that target. With the sports story, we've come to the end of the world news from Baba Bagide Imo Television. Before we go, some headlines. President Tinubu orders investigation into recurring boat accidents in Niger, Adamawa State. Tinubu directs immediate payment of deceased soldiers' insurance. 6 multinational manufacturing giants coming with Okonjo-Iweala in December. And to the next one, Pegcent react as Dangote refinery misses production deadline. Wike to workers, you are a shame. No wonder Abuja is like this. With all of these headlines, we've come to the end. For more updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Baba Bagide Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagide Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement of goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. Thank you for watching. I am Maurire Rabila Lawal. Good evening.